Solve multi-step equations. Now, if you have mastered the art of one and two-step equations, multi-step equations are really no different. When we start with any type of equation, we're going to have an equal sign. And that equal sign is the idea that whatever happens on the left must also happen on the right. That is, when we are making things happen, you have to do the same thing to both sides. Now, the first thing, you could do this a lot of different ways. There's not exactly one correct first step. But I'll tell you, when I look at an equation, and right now I'm focusing on just the left side of the equal sign, that's where there's a lot going on. I notice that there is a number touching parentheses. That implies we can distribute. So that's the first thing I want to do because that's what my mind sees. So I'm first going to distribute my 3. So I have 3 times x, which is 3x, 3 times a positive 5, which is positive 15. Then I still have everything else, right? So the negative 7 comes down, and that equals 29. Now, again, I'm going to continue to focus on the left side because I see that I have a positive 15 minus 7. Well, I know that 15 minus 7 is 8. So I'm just simplifying at this point. I haven't done anything. I haven't, I guess, added or subtracted. I haven't done anything, introduced anything. Maybe that's the key. So far, I've just been simplifying one side. But now my goal is to get this variable by itself, right? That is the ultimate goal of solving an equation. So now I want to act upon this equation in order to get that x by itself. So here's the deal. If x is what I want to get by itself, then whatever is touching x is the last thing I want to play with. So that 3 is the last thing. Meaning, what else is in the way of getting x by itself? And that is this plus 8. Well, what is the opposite of plus 8? And that answer is subtracting 8. So I am going to act upon both sides in a manner that will eliminate the 8s. And this is where you have to do the same thing to both sides because I am introducing a new piece to this problem. So I had a positive 8 and I'm subtracting 8. So 8 minus 8 is 0 on the left side and I am left with just 3x. And on the right side I have 29 minus 8, which is 21. Now, the only thing I have left on the left side is the 3 times x. So if this is 3 times x, the opposite of multiplication is division. So again, I'm acting upon this piece, so I have to do that to both sides. So anytime you're introducing a new step, in this case, I'm introducing division, I have to do it to both sides. So now I have 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. Now, you can always check your work. So if you want to check your work, you take the variable or the value that you found for your variable, plug it into the original equation. So 3 times 7 plus 5 minus 7 equals 29. And then you play order of operations. Inside 7 plus 5 is 12. So 3 times 12 minus 7 is 29. 3 times 12 is 36. Is 36 minus 7 29? Yes. So I know my answer is correct. So anytime you're doubting yourself, go ahead and check your work. Let's do one more. So I have the equal sign. Again, I see on the left side that I have parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So I have 4x minus 12 equals 2x plus 8. Now, at this point, you should notice that we have variables on both sides and we have constants on both sides. So I need to move all my variables to one side and all the constants to the other. And it doesn't matter which side goes where. It doesn't matter, just as long as you do this mathematically correctly. Now, I try to keep things positive. Sometimes I run into folks who are like, I always want my variables on the left. It doesn't matter. There's not a right or a wrong way. As long as you are doing the same thing to both sides, that is what it's important. So I'm going to go ahead and move all the x's to the left, meaning I want to move this 2x to the other side. So this is like saying if I had 2 apples, how do I get rid of them? Well, I just take them away, right? So I'm going to subtract 2x to both sides. Because again, I'm creating a new step here. So on the right, the two x's will go away, and I am left with just a positive 8. On the left side, I've got 4x minus 2x, which is 2x, and then I still have a minus 12. So now I have the x's on the left. So again, remember, whatever's touching x, this is my last step. So that means I need to get rid of this minus 12. How do I get rid of minus 12? I add 12, right? You're always doing the opposite operation. So negative 12 plus 12 is 0, and I am left with 2x equals 20. Last step, I have 2 times x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I end up with x equals 10. Again, we can check if you would like. Sometimes it's just good to see. So I would have 4 times 10 minus 3 equals 2 times 10 plus 8. So let's focus here on the left side. I've got 4 times 7, because 10 minus 3 is 7, and that gives me 28. And on the right side, I've got 2 times 10, which is 20, and 20 plus 8 is 28. So there, I know my answer is correct.